Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Is it worth a buy? Let's read the words of the developer. Uncover one of history's greatest mysteries in a first-person single-player adventure. The year is 1937. Sinister forces are scouring the globe for the secret to an ancient power connected to the Great Circle, and only one person can stop them: Indiana Jones. First up, guys, let's have a look at the graphical options. Most of you know me specs at 2080 i9 with 32 gig of RAM. It ran great using these settings, and it looked absolutely fantastic. I mean, my goodness, one of the best looking games I've ever played. I did have slowdown maybe 4 or 5 times during my playthrough, and I've done 13 hours in this. I had stopped at 9 to do the review, but I went back in to record them graphical settings and played another 3 hours. That's how good the story is. I'll come to that in a minute. But the graphics are just great. They look fantastic. The whole game just oozes atmosphere. It's just a brilliant, brilliant looking game. Before we go with the review, guys, a huge thanks to Green Man Gaming. I didn't get a key off Bethesda despite asking, but Green Man Gaming gave us a key that allowed me to get in 3 days early access, which is why you have this review. Huge thanks to them. Now, the best thing about this game easily is the story. It's up there with Raiders of the Lost Ark, The Last Crusade, the 2 good Indy Jones movies. The rest of them were shite. But this could easily have been a movie. It's a really good story. Like I said, so good that when I went back in to record a little bit of footage, I ended up doing another 3 or so hours. I'm almost finished the game now. And can I just say, you don't need to finish a game to review it. I mean, the AI doesn't get better when you're in the last throngs of the game. You know, the bullet sponge enemies don't get better. You know what I mean? It's just stupid to say that you have to play a game all the way through to know what. If you don't know how good a game is after an hour, I know after 10 minutes most of the time. I mean, yeah, that's enough. I'm not even going to give that lip service. But the story's great. It's got excellent voiceovers. The guy who plays Indiana Jones, he's nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. But the stars of the show, the Germans, I think they're great. I think Voss is hilarious. He's just that sinister movie villain that you kind of see in Indiana Jones movies. He's really good. He's just not in it enough for me. I really enjoyed it every time he was in. Indiana Jones is good as well. It's just a shame that he has these 2 women as sidekick. Let's talk about the wokeness. This game isn't woke. Yeah, one of the women's a lesbian, but so what? They had lesbians in 1937. I mean, I know they've just put them in now to pay that lip service, which is, you know, to be expected. It's 2024, but that didn't bother me.
She was so absorbed in her work when we lived in Berlin, she was never really present. She was like a ghost.
She still loves you, you know.
Well, I'm still here for her.
The reason I didn't like the 2 women that were in this game, you'll find out when we come to the puzzle section and the stealth section. My goodness. But sticking back to the story, it's a story that gets you all over the globe. And it's really well put together, very well written for the most part. And the whole idea of it is good, and that's what I like, and that's why I was kind of hooked. It's the best part of the game by a country mile, it really is. But let's deal with the not so good things, starting with the stealth. Nearly everything you do is stealth. I mean, like I say, I'm probably at best an hour and a half off finishing the game, and everything I've done throughout this game is stealth. You don't do any run and gun stuff, it's all stealth, which is kind of indie-esque, but there was far too much of it, and it's shite, because the guards that you see, they're all over the place. They have cataracts and are tone deaf. You can literally pummel one of the guards while there's another guard 6 feet away and looking in a different direction. He can't hear the thwang and the gong as you hit the other guard in the face with a frying pan, then the screams as you're pummeling him on the floor. He can't hear any of it. And as you're creeping around the levels, you will inevitably be seen all the time by guards as you're going past doorways, because you have no x-ray vision. You don't know if there's a guard in the room. And I was getting seen all the time, and they did nothing. They have that stupid circle on the head, you know, the one, oh, I can see you, but I'm not allowed to do anything. I see you, Indy, but I'm not allowed to do anything. I see you carrying that dead German, but I'm not allowed to do anything. Not for another 5 seconds, then I'll come and get you, mate. Oh, you've gone. Damn. What a pile of shite. That's stealth, guys. That's the stealth. The AI is just awful. It really is. Stealth and AI, just crap. Combat is, you know, light attack, heavy attack, dodge, and parry. The best bit about the combat, the fisticuffs is quite fun at times, but the best bit for me is just picking up anything. I mean, I've picked up plungers, bells, scrubbing brushes, spatulas. I'm laughing just thinking of some of the things I've done. and you just attack fully armoured German guards with a spatula and beat the shit out of them with a spatula. It's hilarious. It really is. And the sound effects when you're doing it, it's just comical. There was one room, I don't have the footage, unfortunately, but I was in this room and there was 4 Germans. They were all alerted to my presence because I was charging around with spatulas and frying pans. It was like a kitchen area. And I was just picking one object up after another and smacking them in the face. I thought I'd recorded it because I've recorded most stuff, but when I checked, I hadn't actually pressed my record button on that one, which was a shame because it would have been hilarious. But there was a few other moments that I do have that are very much like the Three Stooges when you're playing it with the combat. It's just preposterous, but it's fun. And I guess, you know, whether you're laughing at it because you think it's hilarious or whether you're getting fun because you're kind of immersed in it, that's subjective. And for me, it was the absurdity of it that gave me the fun. But yeah, in the grand scheme of things, it's shite, the combat.
Zeig mal, was du kannst!
There is no gunplay in this. You can pick up weapons and shoot them, but it's a death sentence pretty much when you do that. You'll alert all the guards who will run into where you are and they will just kill you. If you have a gun, they shoot you. This is the rules. If you have a gun, they'll shoot you. If you don't have a gun, if you just have a frying pan and you bludgeon them to death, they have a gun, but the rules are they won't use the gun. Total immersion blowout. It really is. It just ruins immersion. Then you got the puzzles. Now the puzzles is the big thing for me in these kind of games. I love old school puzzles like in the old Tomb Raider games. And it didn't matter how long it took me to fix the puzzles and work them out. It was the satisfaction of doing it. The longer the better, you know, just lots of stuff to try, lots of things to find. I love all of that stuff. It's just really good. And I was looking forward to that in this, but unfortunately, it's baby's first puzzle game, this. There's nothing taxing at all. I mean, I did get stuck at one part of the game for about 20 minutes, but that wasn't a puzzle. That was in a dogfight where I kept dying over and over again, and I couldn't work out why I was dying because I shouldn't have been dying. And the reason I was dying is because Indy had said to the pilot, this Gina woman, "I'll get you a new plane." I heard him say that, but I just thought he was joking. But he literally meant, "I'll get you a new plane right now." And what that meant was he was going to get out his seat, walk along the fucking wing, jump onto another plane and steal it. I never thought of that. But coming back to the puzzles, yeah, you'll get in a room that looks fantastic. There's mirrors everywhere, statues, all kinds of shit, levers and stuff and hieroglyphics. And it's like, yeah, here we go. And then Gina, who follows you on most missions, he'll say, "Oh, Indy, come, have a look at this. I think if you push this over there and line that up over there. Indy, help me up here. I can get through this hole. Hey, Indy, I found the mirror that we were missing. Hey, Indy, have you seen it? Fucking shut up, you tart. She's ruining everything." And then when she's not on the missions, Indy talks to his fucking self. "I maybe should be looking over here. Hey, I think this is what we're looking for." Fuck off, shut up. You just, literally, the developers think you're so fucking thick that they can't just leave it and say, "Hey, look, there's a puzzle we've made. Have at it." They've got to fucking interfere and meddle and tell you how to do it. It's like everywhere is white paint. On a fucking ladder, white fucking paint. You can climb this ladder. I know ladders are meant for climbing, but you're too fucking stupid to work that out, so we've painted the white. There you go, climb that fucker. Honestly, hand-holdy wank all the way through this fucking game. Just annoyed the fuck out of me. I was seeing these puzzles that could have been great. Make puzzles great again. But because of the hand-holdy, bottom-squelching tosspots at Bethesda, they wouldn't let you do it. No, all we're going to tell you is everything to fucking do. So, the best things for me, the story, the Germans were great in it. Voss is a great villain. All good voiceovers. And the graphics just look fantastic. But the story reigns supreme in this game. And that's why I'm thumbing it up. I'm giving this a 6 out of 10. If it wasn't for the story, it would be lucky to get 3 because everything else in the game is bollocks. It just ruins immersion. It could have been fantastic, this game. It really could have been fantastic. But indeed it is. It's made for the modern audience who will lap this up and love it. But unfortunately, if you're an old school gamer like me, there's not a lot to keep you entertained outside of the story. So bear that in mind if you're going to buy this. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with buying it for the story. So there you go, guys. Indiana Jones, it just scrapes through.